Good evening, hello, and welcome to a new edition of Business Insider. I'm your host for tonight, Mohammed Abdurrahim, and tonight we'll be talking about grains logistics centers in the MENA region, their importance, their necessity as a key component of food security here in the region. And we have the pleasure of having with us here in the studio Dr. Amr Mohammed Helal, and Dr. Helal is the industrial developer of the Wheat Storage Initiative, and Dr. Helal is also a scientist in the field of pharmaceuticals as well. Dr. Helal, good evening, and thank you very much for joining us.
Good evening to you and to the audience.
Certainly, Dr. Helal, grains, wheat maybe specifically, and soybeans and other very important grains are key components of food security. And the issue of food security is very important at the moment, especially if we talk about a world facing challenges in maritime navigation, in supply chains routes, and there are many challenges. There is an increase in the price of energy in general, not only oil but also fertilizers. That affects certainly the commodities, the food commodities, the food prices. And so I guess at this crucial time the world is passing by, the issue of grains, logistics centers, food security in general, the big umbrella becomes very important. And so talk to us about the necessity of taking steps in that direction and the importance of doing that at the moment.
Thank you for inviting me and for this topic, which is very crucial in my evaluation. Now let us say the following facts. Who is the biggest importer of wheat grains all over the world? It is Egypt. Egypt is, though we are the agriculture produce this year, alhamdulillah, is very promising, but yet we still import more than 10 million tons of wheat every year. Most probably we are the biggest importer of wheat grains. Also we import a huge amount of corn and soybean for the animal feed. So we are importing a very huge amount. In regular times we might not need to have a logistic site, but now we are not in a regular times. We are in a very hard times. And it is not only about the price of the commodity, it is on the availability of the commodity. Let us see that from where Egypt is importing most of their grain, from Russia, from Ukraine before, and from France and other, but a very big amount of the Egyptian imports of grains, of wheat grains, come from Russia and Ukraine. Now what will happen in the future, nobody knows. So what should we do, in my opinion? And it is not my opinion as well. The Prime Minister himself set a number of meetings with interested entities with the same topic, how to make a logistic site in Egypt for grain storage for Egypt and the neighboring countries. We are talking about the Gulf, the Saudi Arabia also importing. This belt has no grains at all. So to have a logistic site, everybody agree about that. The disagreement of how to make it, how to make the logistic site. There are a number of technologies, and we have the honor and of having this project in cooperation with the Agriculture Research Center, the Ministry of Agriculture, and a number of entities to give the proof of concept on a large scale on the technologies that we are going to talk now.
All right, Dr. Helal, eager to listen to you, looking forward to that. Allow us, but first please, Dr. Helal, and the viewers to watch a report about our main topic for tonight, and when we come back we'll get into the details.
Egypt is increasingly embedding food security within its broader transition to a green economy as the government shifts toward more sustainable and climate-resilient agricultural systems. Facing mounting pressures from population growth, water scarcity, and climate change, authorities are aligning food production strategies with the National Climate Change Strategy 2050 and green development goals. A central pillar of this transition is the expansion of climate-smart agriculture, which promotes efficient water use, reduced emissions, and higher resilience to extreme weather. The government is prioritizing crops better suited to changing environmental conditions, while modern irrigation systems and wastewater reuse projects aim to optimize limited water resources. Egypt is also scaling up green initiatives through international partnerships, including programs that support biodiversity, sustainable farming practices, and renewable energy use in rural communities. Projects under the Water Food Energy Nexus platform are helping smallholder farmers adopt innovative technologies and adapt to climate risks, improving productivity while reducing environmental impact. In parallel, efforts to modernize agricultural ecosystems and promote sustainable land use, particularly in desert reclamation areas, reflect a broader push toward low-carbon, resource-efficient food systems. Together, these policies underscore Egypt's commitment to achieving food security through a green economic transition that balances productivity, sustainability, and long-term resilience.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us, and thanks to Abir Hussein for this report. And we are here with Dr. Amr Muhammad Hilal, the industrial developer of the Wheat Storage Initiative. Now, Dr. Hilal, what is first of all, the scale of Egypt's storage capacity at the moment, so that we get started into thinking about that big project?
Let us differentiate between two issues. What I need for storage of my locally produced grains and the great part of the imported one. I believe we got a very big progress during the last few years, and maybe we are talking about we have a very secure capacity for storage in a metallic horizontal silos to cover this one. Still, there is a losses, especially when the farmers are storing their grains for next year cultivation. Suppose that there is 1 million ton of grains, the farmers are storing it either for their food or for next year use as seeds for the crops. This, the Ministry of Agriculture, the guidance departments are cooperating with our humble self in a very nice project in cooperation with international program, which is called Seeds, for the storage of these grains in a special bags where it will be preserved from deterioration and kept intact for more than 1 year. It is the same idea, the small bags of the 50 kilograms, it is the same idea of the horizontal silos that we are talking about. And let us say the following: easy is intelligent. Sometimes you will find an easy technique, and intelligent is that it is an easy one. It is a cheap one. It can be done everywhere. And before explaining how this technology is done, let us remember the Great War, the 73, one part of the pillar of success is how to get rid of the sand dam or whatever just by water. It is an easy idea. So the same idea we are talking about now, it is the idea used by our Prophet Joseph when storing grains at that stories that everybody knows. So currently what is happening, a country like Argentina is storing more than 40 million, no mistake, it is 40 million tons of grains by horizontal silos storage technique. The idea is very easy. It is a kind of plastic coating, plastic bags. This may be as small as 50 kilograms or 1 ton, or as big as storage silo bags, horizontal one, that with a capacity of about 250 tons. The idea is very simple. When you pack these horizontal silos or the bags and close it, the material don't allow for gas exchange. Just to make it easier, the grains will consume all the oxygen inside and produce carbon dioxide. Now the whole grains are in a cloud of carbon dioxide. This means that there will be no insect at all that can grow. There is no fumigation, no electricity needed for moving the grains like in horizontal silos, and the special texture of this plastic, it is white in the outermost side to reflect the sun, and from the inner side it is black, so no sun rays can go inside. So the conclusion, no insect can grow, no microbes can grow. Again, in Sudan they are storing by more than 1.5 million tons by this technology. And I have the honor to accompany the Agricultural Research Institute staff going there, examine, test grains that were stored by more than 18 months, and they are intact as day one.
No losses, zero losses.
Zero losses. And what is beauty of it, that there is no electricity, no fumigation with toxic gases. And to make it nicer, we did this in Egypt by ourselves.
And you said that farmers here, when in the traditional ways of they use to store grains, they lose like
30%.
30%.
This is for.
So we have to change this.
We are this year. I'm talking about this year. We are going to supply them with demo plastic bags, and I'm going to talk a little bit about these plastic bags. I'm going to talk, and these plastic bags we are going to give in to them.
Yes.
So this project with Agricultural Research Institute and some European fund seeds to train them how they can use it. And we are going to make this demo at 5 sites so everybody can see it. This can save 300,000 tons. But
of every million?
Of every million, of the millions that they store. But again, this is not the logistics side. The logistics side, we are talking about how is it necessary for Egypt to have a logistics site or not? This is.
Before that, sir, I understand that, and correct me if I'm wrong, that we have expanded specifically wheat production in the past few years. Is that correct?
Yes, very correct.
Right. To which extent can we continue to expand that wheat production, and is it in the plan or the scheme of the government to have self-sufficiency in that area, or because this uses a lot of water? And so we try always to balance the game between producing as much as we can to dwindle the deficit or the gap needed for local production and import the rest. I mean, and what do you think about the best way to tackle that issue?
It is a problem of water and good use of water. Everybody heard that about the plan of cultivation of 500,000 acre in Sinai by recycled water. This is very good as well. Of course, the project in Egypt by the national projects cultivated more space, and what is more important, the productivity per acre is increased. And this is done by a very hard scientific effort from Agricultural Research Center scientists. Again, are we going to be self-sufficient? This might take few years, but still this will be for wheat, for example. Then how about corn? How about soybean? How about the necessity of having all 6 months or 1 year requirements to be stored on our land? This is very important. I don't know what will happen tomorrow. I don't know if there will be, the war will be increased, but we should be prepared. The idea of the discussion is what will be the best economical way to store these 10 million. The first question, is the vertical silos are the best way? The answer is yes, no question. The vertical silos, the vertical metallic silo is the best.
The first question must be, and a scientist like yourself can answer it, I think, should we go for self-sufficiency in all of the grains that are badly needed, like wheat, corn, and soybeans, even if we're going to use more water, and even if we are going to economically lose here and there, but at least we will have our food here in Egypt and need no food from outside? Should we go for that?
This is a must. The nations that don't have their food cannot be independent. It happened in 2008. There is a crisis of grains, and the problem was not do we have money to buy, or
availability
of it. So to have our food done by ourselves, we all remember
Do we have enough water?
We all remember the dream of our President Sadat, Allah yarhamu, that Egypt and Sudan should complement each other. The answer is in front of our eyes. This is something political. This is not my specialty, but I went to Sudan. Everybody who went to Sudan, we love the Sudanese, and I can say also
they love us.
They love us very
love
much.
Egypt.
But still, up till now, I don't know why we are not returned as before as a one nation. Hopefully, we can do that. But let us speak about the first of the question. Is the metallic vertical silo are the best? The answer is yes. But do we have the money to store 10 million tons in metallic silo? I would say no. We don't have that. For example, after in 2013, we have a nice support from some of the Gulf countries for the vertical silos of about 4 billion euros, dollars, and yet we don't have satisfaction about that or sufficient about that. For it is a very expensive one. One vertical silo of about capacity of about 50,000 metric tons for storage. This might cost 200 or 300 million Egyptian pounds. We are talking about something quite different. We are talking about a necessity to have a storage site. If a necessity is needed to that extent, then we should find a solution. If we don't have the money to do the logistic site with the vertical silos, then let us answer this question. How come Argentina is storing 40 million tons every year and we don't have the decision to store 10 million tons every year?
So what is exactly the specific project, Dr. Helal, that you are proposing?
The horizontal silos have a lot of advantage and one major disadvantage. The advantage, it is much cheaper. The storage time is much larger, longer.
Yes.
No fumigation, no use of electricity, no nothing.
Wonderful.
The disadvantage for other countries, not Egypt, it needs the space. We do have enough space, desert space, a very big space that can do that. Especially it should be done in the vicinity of ports, so we have a very big area around Ain Sokhna, about Suez, about Port Said. I already went all these areas, and with the Ministry of Agriculture or Agriculture Research Institute, we define where we can do that. And the plan was very easy and simple. We already...
It's all about Red Sea ports. You didn't mention any
any
Mediterranean
port,
ports.
any port.
And Mediterranean.
But I think only the Egyptian, the Alexandria and Port Said are the two ones that have the capacity of receiving 50,000 tons ships.
Okay.
The same, it is okay in Suez Canal and Ain Sokhna. So the plan that I already put it on writing to the top person in Egypt, and we wrote to the Prime Minister, previous Prime Minister, and a lot of authorities. Let us start. We already succeeded, and we have the reports from the Ministry of Agriculture and the Agricultural Research Center that the wheat storage that done by this technology for 8 months is very successful. There is no insect, no fumigation, of course, and the quality of the grains inside are exactly the same. So that was done for 2,000 tons. We already, I am talking about myself and the Agricultural Research Center, already have the machinery that are capable of storing 100,000 tons within 1 month. So let us expand the experiment, and let us see the results and monitor it very carefully, and by whatever authority to check with us.
You said there was one disadvantage, but you didn't say what was
the space. We need the space. So we
do have the space.
We have too much space. And let us start by 100,000 tons to be stored by this technology. Let me add something nice for you and to the audience. When we did the first trial, we imported the plastic bags. And in the second trial,
we made the bags at home?
We made the bags at home.
Wonderful.
At 2 national companies. And even we signed a contract with the military factories, number 54, I don't remember, to do the equipment needed for loading and deloading.
That's part of the effort of localizing the industry.
But for the 100,000 tons, we can do it tomorrow, if we can say that. The point that I stress it several times, do we need a logistic site? If the answer is yes, then I wish the decision maker in Egypt can decide how we can make it.
And you personally think it's a must?
I can tell you that the Prime Minister himself held some meetings, maybe during the last week, about arrangement to have something like that. Our role is to do the experimentation, to do the pilot, and tell the decision maker, yes, Egypt can do that.
All right. Who bears the investment? And what about the proposed financing for this
for the 100 tons
big ambitious project?
For the 100 tons,
100,000,
100,000 tons, we can do the investment for the machinery, and the country can do the supply of the bags. Now, if we are talking about 1 million or 10 million, then I think the best way is to make it in a public-private cooperation. The private can do a storage area by 1 to 2 million tons. This is something that will not be done in just one season.
Right.
It should be a plan, and also we should manage to have different grains stored. Feasibility-wise and everything, this is very easily answered by the following. Egypt is already importing 20 million tons. So to have them on our land, there is no fear that these storage grains will go outside.
Right. You said Argentina stores 40 million approximately tons per year. What's the goal here for Egypt? What's your target?
Our target
Yes.
is 10 million.
Okay.
This is something very crucial for this, if you call it, the food security. I am very concerned about what will happen in the future if something happens all over the world, or somebody would like to...
we're seeing the wars all around us, I mean, yeah.
Or if somebody, for any reason or another, decide we will not ship grains to Egypt. I don't even want to think what will happen.
So, so after all of this effort, Dr. Helal, and scientific validation, when do you expect this project to finally come to light? And I mean, as we can see from that, you believe it's a necessity to have this grains logistics site here in Egypt, and it will be a hub for the region, really. And Egypt is the gate to and from Africa, and really the intersection of 3 continents. And
this is very much needed for countries like Saudi Arabia beside us. Most of their grains are imported. Some other countries like Turkey even, or some other countries, all will depend on the logistics side. Let me give you, imagining the following. There is surplus production of grains in Russia, Ukraine, and France. What they are doing with their product? They store it at their country, waiting to sell it to other countries. The idea is to convince them, instead of storing these products or your produce in your own country, come and store it here. This is not something new. I know that Russia tried to do this before in Egypt at some time, not succeeded, and they went to the Far East and have one of the logistics sites there. So we should have it in Egypt. It is easier for transportation to everywhere. And coming back to your question, when I am expecting, I wish this episode can be delivered to the decision maker, and he can ask if we can do it or not.
And it can be done quickly, right? That's what I understand. I mean,
the 50 or 100,000 tons can be done this season.
Right.
But we cannot promise that we can have. Of course, if it is decided by our president, we know that when he decides something, it happens. But let us see the capacity, the evaluation of storage 100,000 tons of this year crop, and evaluate it, and have the decision.
In the best possible scenario, when can we get to that 10 million target?
If we consider what is happening in Egypt, I would say next year we can have 5,000 tons storage. 5 million.
5 million
tons.
Half of it just in 1 year. So the 10 million target in 2 years.
Yes, according to the pace of work. When Egypt decide to do something, it is done. It is. Let me say again, it is not something difficult. Again, this technology is used in Ukraine, in South Africa, in Sudan, in Russia. Personally, I visited the same site in Italy. It is not something that we are going to invent it. We are just make a replica of what is done. The decision is this technology is acknowledged by FAO? Is this technology is done in Argentina? If the answer is yes for all of this, then we will need to know the answer why you are not doing it.
All right. The necessity of a grains logistics site here in Egypt to serve the country and serve the region was our main topic tonight with our dear distinguished guest, Dr. Amr Muhammad Helal, and he is the industrial developer of the wheat storage initiative. We commend your efforts, Dr. Helal. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
And hope to see you again soon, inshallah, with all the great news about Egypt and our beloved region. Thank you very much. And dear viewers, thank you for watching us. In some 10 minutes from now, 8 minutes actually, 9 News will be here with another update on the latest occurring around the world. Please do not go far. Goodbye.